Today I will be discussing about the diagnosis of acute stroke. Now, acute stroke, also known as cerebrovascular accident or brain attack, it is mainly of two types. One is ischemic variety or ischemic stroke, another one is hemorrhagic stroke. Now, acute stroke is one of the important medical emergency, and its incidence is gradually increasing with the incidence of diabetes, hypertension, various cardiac malformations, cardiac arrhythmia, and so on. Besides, the incidence of the disease are also increasing with ages, and there are several risk factors which ultimately increase the risk of this disease. Even genetics and family history also plays an important role in this disease. Now, acute stroke or cerebrovascular accident is a medical emergency. It needs urgent diagnosis as well as initiation of treatment. And for initiation of treatment, we need diagnosis as soon as possible. So there is two importance of diagnosis. First, with the help of diagnosis or diagnostic tool, we will try to tell whether it is a ischemic stroke or hemorrhagic stroke. And at the same time, we have to rule out other diseases like transient ischemic attacks or subarachnoid hemorrhage or other diseases which may have sign symptoms just like or clinical feature just like acute stroke. So that is the importance of diagnosis, and early diagnosis is very much important to initiate the therapy, because initiation of therapy as soon as possible or as soon as the onset of the stroke sign symptoms may ultimately prevent the mortality or morbidity of the disease. So lives can be saved by initiation of treatment, as well as if we diagnose the disease or which type of stroke it is, whether it is ischemic stroke or hemorrhagic stroke. So diagnosis of the type of stroke is also very much important, because the nature of the therapy or management plan is also different based on the type of the stroke. So for ischemic stroke, the management policy is different, and for hemorrhagic stroke, the management strategy is also different. That's why early diagnosis is very much important, so as to save the life of the patient, to prevent brain damage, and to prevent mortality, morbidity, as well as disability of the complication of the stroke. Now, how will diagnose stroke? From the simply, as soon as the patient arrives at the emergency department or stroke unit or medicine emergency unit, we will take history of these patients. So whether he has suffered from such type of incident before or not, so family history or any other diseases he is suffering, whether he is suffering from any heart disease, diabetes, any hypertensive situations, or he is suffering from hypertension, whether he is on antihypertensive medication, all those history is very much important. From history also we can diagnose a little bit of the disease. Beside, clinical features at presentation, whether there is loss of any muscle strength, or there is loss of sensation, or there is paralysis or weakness of any side of the body, there is any speech defect or not, there is any vision loss or not, whether there is hemiplegia or not. So all the clinical feature or sign symptoms of the stroke is very much important, because sign symptoms of stroke is very much important to diagnose the stroke. So clinical features at presentation as well as sign symptoms of stroke has to be analyzed so as to help in diagnosis of the acute stroke. Then another important diagnostic way is to physical examination. Now, in case of stroke, we have to do CNS examination. Like other examination, we have to go for central nervous system examination. Here we are going to check the muscle power, then strength of the muscle, then various, whether there is any upper motor neuron lesion or lower motor neuron lesion, or is there any hemiplegia, paralysis, or any part of the weakness of any part of the body, or loss of sensations, or any cranial nerve defect, and so on, or visual defect, and so on. So with the help of physical examination, we can also find out we can also diagnose stroke. Next comes the blood test. So in blood test, what we are going to see, we have to check whether the patient is suffering from diabetes, because diabetes is one of the important complication of stroke, because diabetes, if it remain uncontrolled, can lead to various macrovascular, microvascular and even atherosclerotic changes in the blood vessel, leading to hypertension as well as stroke and myocardial infarction. That's why we have to know about the blood sugar status. So in blood reports, or when we are going for blood test, we have to see blood sugar test, fasting blood sugar test or random blood sugar test we can check. Then we can go for platelet count, whether platelet count is less than 50,000 or not, or it is less than critical count, so that there is a intercerebral hemorrhage or not. So that's why we have to check the platelet count, whether the bleeding occurring in the brain or stroke occurs because of low platelet count or not. So that's why we have to count the platelet level also. Besides, we can check the coagulable state of the blood by testing prothrombin time, then APTT, partial thromboplastin time, then bleeding time, clotting time. All these parameters has to be checked so as to see the blood coagulable state of the particular patients. Besides, we can also check for cholesterol level, because hypercholesterolemia or increased blood cholesterol level is another important risk factor or cause of both ischemic as well as hemorrhagic stroke, because hypercholesterolemia leads to atherosclerotic or deposition of fatty plaque on the arteries of the cerebrovasculature, which ultimately causes narrowing of the major vessels, leading to ischemic stroke. Also, it is responsible for causing hypertension, and because of hypertension there may be increased risk of hemorrhagic stroke. So because of high cholesterol level, both in ischemic as well as hemorrhagic stroke may be caused. That's why in blood test we are also going to check blood cholesterol level. Besides, we can also check serum electrolytes, because sometimes serum electrolyte disbalance like hypokalemia or hyperkalemia can also cause sign symptoms of altered consciousness and weakness of the muscles and so on. So you have to see various serum electrolyte, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium and so on. We can also see or check for kidney function test as well as renal function test to see the status of kidney, because sometimes kidney failure also may leads to sign symptoms of uremic encephalopathy. So all those things is responsible for creating various sign symptoms of stroke. So what I mean to say is that when it comes to blood test, we are going to see random blood sugar level, we have to see prothrombin time, we have to see partial thromboplastin time, we have to see BTCT, BTCT means bleeding time, clotting time. Then you have to check platelet count, because platelet count, if it is low, normally it is 1.5 to 4 lakhs per cubic millimeter, but if it is less than 1 lakh, it leads to spontaneous intercerebral bleeding also. So it may leads to stroke also. So that's why we have to check the platelet count, and if it is therapeutic strategy also depend on the platelet count. If it is low, we have to infuse platelet to the particular patient so as to increase the platelet count. That's why we have to check the platelet count. Besides, we have to see the coagulable stage of the blood or state of the blood by checking the prothrombin time, partial thromboplastin time, then bleeding time, clotting time, etc. Besides, we can see blood cholesterol level or serum cholesterol level, then serum electrolyte, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, etc. And we can go for liver function test as well as kidney function test, because sometimes kidney function problem also or defect in the kidney also leads to various CNS sign symptoms, or which may be similar like stroke. The diagnostic tool for acute stroke is mainly imaging technology. So we have to next go for imaging technology or imaging techniques like CT scan or MRI. Especially non-contrast CT is a diagnostic tool of choice in case of acute hemorrhagic stroke, because CT scan can detect acute bleed on the brain very accurately, and that's why the blood can be detected very nicely by non-contrast CT scan. So CT scan, especially non-contrast CT scan, is diagnostic tool of choice in case of hemorrhagic stroke, whereas diffusion and perfusion gated MRI is the diagnostic tool of choice in case of acute ischemic stroke. So to diagnose hemorrhagic stroke, we can rely on non-contrast CT of the head, and for hemorrhagic stroke we can rely on the diffusion and perfusion gated MRI. MRI means magnetic resonance imaging. So MRI can detect the ischemic stroke very accurately, and CT scan can detect the acute bleeding or hemorrhage or hemorrhagic stroke in the brain very accurately. CT scan can also diagnose ischemic stroke, but after 24 hours. So after 24 hours of the acute onset of the stroke, CT scan may definitely diagnose. Otherwise, less than 24 hours, ischemic stroke may be very much or cannot be detected by CT scan very accurately. So it needs at least 24 to 48 hours for accurate diagnosis of ischemic stroke by CT scan. So imaging technology is diagnostic tool of choice in case of acute stroke. Imaging technology can also differentiate the type of stroke. It can also measure the volume of lesion or volume of hemorrhage or ischemia in brain using the CT scan or MRI. So what is the role of CT scan? It can diagnose the hemorrhagic stroke very accurately because it is sensitive to acute blood in the brain. Besides, it can locate the site of lesion or area of hemorrhage or area of the stroke in the brain. Besides, it can also measure the volume of lesion. That is very much important because therapeutic strategy, whether it will go for surgical treatment or medical treatment, depends on the size of the lesion, so or volume of lesion. So volume of lesion can be measured by CT scan very accurately. Besides, it can rule out other CNS disease which have similar sign symptoms just like stroke. It can differentiate, also diagnose subarachnoid hemorrhage. It can also detect aneurysm of brain or arteriovenous malformation of brain or any other abnormalities that may lead to bleed in brain other than intracerebral hemorrhage. So it can also find out the cause of the bleeding in the patients of acute stroke. And especially diffusion and perfusion gated MRI is a diagnostic tool of choice in case of acute ischemic stroke. Besides, non-contrast CT can also diagnose ischemic stroke, but after 24 to 48 hours, because after 24 to 48 hours the acute ischemic penumbra becomes detectable by CT scan very accurately. But less than 24 hours also, MRI, especially diffusion and perfusion gated MRI, can diagnose acute ischemic stroke very accurately. It can measure the volume of lesion, site of lesion, and also differentiate from transient ischemic attack also. So differential diagnosis of as well as type of stroke can be diagnosed very accurately with the help of imaging technology. After the imaging technology, next comes the electrocardiogram or ECG. What is the importance of ECG? Now ECG actually is to check the rhythm of heart. So with the ECG we can check any abnormal rhythm of heart, any cardiac arrhythmia, any abnormal rhythmical activity of the heart. Sometimes because of atrial fibrillation or because of cardiac arrhythmia or because of any valvular deformity, sometimes there is a cardiac arrhythmia, and because of cardiac arrhythmia, thrombus formation in any particular chamber can lodge into the cerebrovasculature or cerebral vasculature of the brain, which ultimately leads to ischemic stroke. So cardiac arrhythmia like atrial fibrillation is responsible for, or it is one of the important risk factor for development of thromboembolic stroke or thrombotic stroke or embolic stroke, which is a type of ischemic stroke. So that's why to rule out any cardiac arrhythmia like atrial fibrillation, which is an important risk factor for ischemic stroke, we have to see the normal activity of heart with the help of ECG. Next comes the cerebral angiography. What is cerebral angiography? Here actually we are going to see the any blockage in the arteries of the neck as well as brain. So it is possible by injecting some dyes and take the imaging of the vasculature of the brain. Just like angiography or coronary angiography, in cerebral angiography we are also going to see the any blockage in the vessels of the neck or neck arteries or vessels supplying the brain, that is mainly arteries. whether there is any blockage or thrombus formation in the arteries supplying the brain of any part of or not. That's why cerebral angiography can ultimately diagnose the degree of blockage of any major artery or any artery supplying the brain. Next comes the carotid ultrasound. What is carotid ultrasound? Carotid ultrasound, it is also known as carotid duplex scan. And what is the function? Its function is to see whether there is any fatty plaque deposition or fatty tissue deposition on the arteries of the neck as well as brain. Especially it detects the narrowing of the carotid artery, because even the carotid artery ischemia or carotid artery atherosclerosis or carotid artery thickening or carotid artery atherosclerosis may leads to ischemic stroke. So to rule out that, we have to check whether this is because of carotid artery thickening or not. We have to see the carotid artery ultrasound or carotid duplex scan. We call it carotid ultrasound also. Here we are going to see the thickness or narrowingness of the carotid artery of the neck. So even atherosclerosis or carotid artery atherosclerosis or narrowing of the carotid artery may lead to ischemic stroke or ischemia of the brain. So to rule out that or to find out the cause, we have to see the any blockade of the carotid artery, and it is done by using carotid ultrasound or carotid duplex scan. Beside, we can go for echocardiography, which is another important diagnostic tool. In echocardiography, we are going to check presence of any valvular deformity in the heart, whether there is any valvular heart disease like mitral stenosis, aortic stenosis, and so on, whether there is any clot formation or clot in the formation in any chamber of the heart. All those things we can diagnose with the help of echocardiography, because if there is formation of any clot on any part of or any chamber of heart by thromboembolism, or this thrombus after being lost from any chamber of heart, it can circulate to the systemic circulation and ultimately responsible for ischemic stroke by causing thromboembolic phenomena or thromboembolism. So to rule out that whether there is any formation of thrombus or clot formation in any chamber of heart, especially of the left ventricle as well as left atrium, we are going to see the clot formation, and that's why echocardiography or echocardiogram is very much important. Besides, it can also rule out various heart disease like mitral stenosis, mitral regurgitation, aortic stenosis, and other valvular heart disease, which are also responsible for thromboembolic phenomena and maybe also cause ischemic stroke. So these are the various diagnostic tool by which or way of diagnosis of acute stroke of both variety, that is ischemic as well as hemorrhagic type. So again I am telling, to diagnose acute stroke we can start from the clinical history. So in history taking part, we are going to see the family history, we are going to see the history of suffering from any disease like past history of stroke, any transient ischemic attack, any diabetes mellitus, in past history of taking alcoholism, all other risk factors, hypertension, any heart disease, any valvular heart disease, and so on. So history taking is also very much important to diagnose acute stroke. Then we next go to sign symptoms or clinical features at presentation. Specific clinical features like paralysis or numbness of one side of body, then speech defect, then visual loss, then facial drooping, then arm weakness or limb weakness. All those things ultimately go forward for hemiplegia, which is one of the important sign symptom or clinical features of acute stroke, both of ischemic as well as hemorrhagic type. Next comes the clinical examination. Here we are going to see the muscle strength, then power of the muscle, then various other movements of the muscle, and sensation, if it is lost or not, whether there is any paralysis of any part of body. Besides, we are going to see any upper motor neuron lesion or lower motor neuron lesion by checking Babinski's sign. So all this is done by neurologist or any physician, and here clinical examination also plays an important role in diagnosis of acute stroke. After the clinical examination, history taking and sign symptom, we go for blood test. So what blood test we are going to check? In blood, we are going to check the blood sugar level, because diabetes can be important risk factor for development of stroke, both of ischemic as well as hemorrhagic time. Besides, we can go for prothrombin time, then partial thromboplastin time, then bleeding time, clotting time. We can also check platelet count because thrombocytopenia may also leads to bleeding in the brain. Spontaneous intracerebral bleeding in the brain can be because of thrombocytopenia also. So to check the platelet count, it is very much important to see thrombocytopenia as an important risk factor for acute stroke. Besides, we can go for checking other complications like hypercholesterolemia, or to see blood serum cholesterol level. Serum cholesterol level we can check. So after the blood test, we have other imaging technology, that is a diagnostic tool of choice in case of acute stroke. Imaging technology like CT scan and MRI is responsible for differential diagnosis of the stroke. It can differentiate the type of the stroke, whether it is ischemic or hemorrhagic variety. CT scan is diagnostic tool of choice in case of hemorrhagic stroke because especially non-contrast CT or computer tomography scanning is diagnostic tool of choice in case of acute hemorrhagic stroke because CT scan is sensitive to acute blood or accumulation of blood in the brain. Whereas diffusion and perfusion gated MRI is diagnostic tool of choice in case of acute ischemic stroke. So imaging technology can easily differentiate the type of the stroke, the nature of the stroke, the area of the stroke, volume of lesion, and rule out other CNS diseases which can have same sign symptoms like acute stroke. So CT scan, it is so many important function in diagnosis of stroke. Then comes the electrocardiogram or ECG. It is to see the various heart disease, heart abnormalities, any atrial fibrillation, any cardiac arrhythmia or not. Then comes the cerebral angiography or cerebral angiogram. Here we are going to see any blockade in the neck arteries or brain arteries, and any blockade or thrombosis formation or any narrowingness of the cerebral arteries or not. Then we can go for carotid ultrasound to check the patency of the carotid artery, whether there is any carotid atherosclerosis or not. We can diagnose with the help of carotid ultrasound or duplex carotid scan. Last but not the least, there is echocardiography. Here we can diagnose the various heart disease, cardiac function, as well as whether there is any chamber dilatation, because some chamber dilatation like left atrial chamber dilatation may be associated with mitral stenosis, which may be associated with atrial fibrillation, which is responsible for acute ischemic stroke. Beside, there is any presence of any thrombus or clot formation in the any part of chamber of heart, that also we can diagnose with the help of echocardiography. So these are the various diagnostic tool of choice or diagnostic tool that we can use to diagnose acute stroke. Now diagnosis of acute stroke is very much important because as soon as it is diagnosed, we can start the therapy depending on the type of stroke as well as the volume of lesion on the brain and various other mechanisms. Because if we start the therapy as soon as possible, then we can save the life of the patient, we can prevent the mortality, we can prevent the disability and morbidity and other complication of the stroke, and we can prevent the brain damage also. So that is the importance of emergency as well as early diagnosis of acute stroke. Thank you very much.